All right, so we should be live right now. And for those of you tuning in or watching this later, since it will be on YouTube, I'm blessed to be bringing on right now probably one of the top or the top freshmen in South Florida or in the state of Florida, and also just one of the top freshmen overall in the country, Cameron Boozer. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man.
Yeah, awesome. Well, before we really get into this interview, is there anything that you want to plug or anybody you want to shout out?
No, I'm good.
All right, sounds good. Well, anyways, I guess before we start to talk about the state championship, because that's kind of the main reason for doing this interview, I guess let's break down something that just happened today. You recently received an invite, literally today, you and your brother, to go to the USA Junior National Team mini camp that will be taking place during the Final Four in New Orleans. Just how did it all go down? I mean, when did you find out? What was the moment like?
I mean, it was great, but you know, it's something that it's really a big thing. Playing for your country, or even just like being able to go somewhere and represent your country. So when we found out, we were super happy about it.
Yeah. And I feel like that experience, I guess with Corona too, I feel like you maybe, and also you're a young guy, so you've obviously, I feel like haven't really experienced anything like that before. I mean, how do you think it's going to be? Are you at all like a little nervous to, meet a bunch of these other new top players and stuff like that? Or kind of what are your expectations for it?
I mean, not really. I already know like a lot of the players going. It's more of just you gotta go out there hoop and show what you can do.
Yeah, for sure. But anyways, the reason why I wanted to bring you on, because if you guys follow my Instagram, I don't know if you see, but I've definitely interviewed you a handful of times. But we gotta discuss, the big state championship run. So I just kind of want to go through almost the whole season, almost like this whole interview is going to be like a big season recap. So it's no better way to start it off than starting off from the beginning of the season. I see you guys play at the KT Kings Classic, which technically like wasn't a part of the regular season, but still, you guys had a huge preseason. So I mean, that game versus Mikey Williams was definitely I feel like a big statement for the team. I didn't think I thought Mikey Williams was gonna be a little better, so I thought they were actually gonna destroy you guys. Ended up not happening. You guys really showed out at such a young age. I mean, what was the preseason like? Just starting off your high school career, literally playing versus one of the best players in the country.
I mean, that game I was definitely nervous before. That was my first like really high school game, and it was against probably like the most popular athlete in high school right now. So it was definitely nerve wracking coming into it. And if you watch the game, you can see in the beginning I was playing a little nervous, but as the time went
Mhm.
on, I got a little more comfortable, and we kept it close, but it was a tough loss.
Yeah. And I guess we got to, we'll probably maybe bring this up throughout the interview, but one of the things I noticed too about the team, I guess is might not be related to the team, I guess it kind of is, but the fans at your school, I mean, the game didn't even start. They're already, almost like the whole arena is just screaming like overrated to Mikey Williams. I'm like, damn, like this atmosphere is actually like insane. I mean, how is that too? Just starting off, in a preseason game, just all your fans there, all the students from the whole school, because they've been rocking with you guys like throughout the whole season.
At Columbus, there's always talk about this brotherhood and this big thing about we're all family and we're all close together. And if you're not like at Columbus, you're not like there, you don't really like understand it. But when you go to Columbus and you see all the alumni coming in, even just the people that you don't really know at the school, but they still root for you, they still cheer for you, and they're like the loudest here at the games, you really can see like it actually is a real thing. It actually is a real brotherhood there.
Yeah, for sure. But anyways, man, continuing on. So we enter the regular season, and you immediately start off with a huge test versus Westminster Academy, which I think which makes all basically all these games a big test for you guys. That all these teams, their core is not just a bunch of freshmen and sophomores. Westminster Academy has Jalen Carey, who's a big and he's a junior, and they got Ricky Ballard, also has some size, and he's a senior. Aiden Bell, like they had a lot of guys that were older, along with one of your buddies, Alex Lloyd. So that team, I mean, was pretty loaded. They had a huge offseason. You guys really just destroyed them basically the whole entire game. I mean, just what was maybe the mentality and the preparation getting ready for that game, and how did that really set the tone for the season? Because I thought that was going to be a great game, and it ended up being just a complete blowout.
I mean, we came to that game preparing just the same way we prepare for every game. We watched the film, we had a scout report on each player, we had a game plan. I think we did a great job executing that game plan. You know, and make sure that our biggest thing every game, our backbone for every game is our defense, and so that's mainly the biggest thing we focus on before every game. You know, the week before, the day before, we're always preparing. We're always thinking about how we're going to defend, and it's always about um, playing your hardest, and always about being the best defender you can be that day.
Definitely. And then you guys go home now versus Riviera Prep, which I'm pretty sure you guys played in the fall league at Somerset Academy in North Lauderdale. That game was actually a good game. But then somehow, I mean, you guys blow out Riviera Prep 69-52, which I thought Riviera Prep had a great team, you know, when they had Osmar and landed there as well. I was surprised by that result as well. I'm not surprised you guys won, but I mean, you guys beat them by 17 points, which I also thought was a big surprise too. I mean, how are you guys able to pull that one off?
I mean, that game, we were like extra locked in for that game because in the preseason we lost them by like 15, like 20. So for that game, we came with that game with like a serious mindset. We know that they had Esteban, who's one of the best guards in South Florida. They had Osmar, who's like one of the best forwards in South Florida. We know they had really talented players. So our mindset of that game was just like we were locked in like the whole time, and we came out and we knew that we had to shut them down, and I feel like that's what we did.
Yeah, and then this game was probably one of my favorite games that I went to this year. I mean, it would have been my favorite game if you let them, I guess, lose by like a little less of a margin. Because that would have been cool if it was like a buzzer beater in this atmosphere. But at Palmetto, I mean, that place was rocking even for the JV game. That was literally just such. That was honestly a fun time. That school was awesome. Packed gym, huge gym. And again, take care of business. They're definitely not as loaded of a team as I would say Riviera Prep, but still, you know, they're very highly respected in the Miami area. I think they could have made a run for states as well, just with Jamel Lane, who some people say is the best player in Miami. And you actually, and I didn't pick up on this. My dad did. He was telling me because you know when I'm filming the games, like I can't pay too close attention. My dad was like, "Yeah, you know, Cameron kind of locked up Jamel. I think he blocked a couple of his threes. I mean, how'd you really handle that challenge? Because he's a freak athlete."
I mean, that game was definitely like probably the most exciting game. I feel like just the atmosphere was a great atmosphere to be in. Their fans, they have great fans. They're loud the whole time, screaming. You can't really hear anything in that gym. You know, I
Yeah.
feel like that was probably, like one of the most fun games to play in this year. So that was definitely like a great experience to have.
Yeah, what's it like? Because you've played in a lot of crazy atmospheres. I mean, even that Donda Academy game. I mean, I wouldn't even say the Palmetto one was actually crazier than that, but still, like you know, you've played in a lot of crazy atmospheres during the preseason, you know, during the regular season, playoffs, all that stuff. I mean, you said you could barely hear like stuff during the game. Like, so how does that work? Like, do you literally like not hear your coach? Are you able to hear him like a little bit? Does it ever happen where like he'll call it a play and you're like, oh shoot, like I couldn't hear you? Like, does that ever happen sometimes?
I mean, something we talk about is echoing plays. So like, let's say our coach says something and someone hears it. You have to call a play, even if you're not the point guard. You still have to call a play because let's say you hear your teammate might not hear it. So by you calling it, other people will hear it. Oh, sorry about that, but
Y'all good. Y'all
just
good.
just by like echoing the play. All right, just by like echoing the play, you know, it's gonna help out a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Uh, and then I guess you know, so after those games, you know, I guess it's all smooth sailing, and then you guys actually travel to City of Palms, where I saw you guys, and I guess you were able to lock in for that thing. Be I think South Florida Christian Academy. I'm pretty sure what they were called. You guys smoked them. I mean, 67-31 wasn't even close. And I guess by winning that game, I guess that locks you guys in for a spot at City of Palms next year. And this is the topic I really want to talk about. So I guess it's a good time to discuss it. City Palms national tournament, national event. You guys played somewhat of a national schedule, a little more locally. I mean, next year, are you guys really expecting to just kind of take over that national scene now?
Yeah, next year we're definitely having a much more um, like like national kind of schedule. I think we're going to 4 tournaments that are supposed to be like national tournaments, and going to a couple preseason ones too. But Cedar Palms is definitely going to be a big one. You know, there's always teams like Montverde, IMG, Oak Hill there, and also like the top teams from Florida always go to. So that's definitely going to be a big turnaround. I'm really excited for that one.
And there's one team that since university school has now taken over South Florida in terms of being that national team, giving people that national spotlight. As I'm sure you know, it's Calvary Christian. I mean, they're playing, I guess, the Battle of the State Champions event. So that's why I call it. The number one seed in that thing out of 4 other teams that competed for a state championship. They put them as number one. They got a lot of nationally ranked players. That they're even putting on an event this weekend where they're going to be facing OTE and everything. So I guess this year, their goal wasn't to win a state championship. Their goal was to make it a nationals. Last year, their goal was state championship. They achieved that. They were a little upset they didn't get nationals. Now this year, they were like, we gotta get a state championship, but that's just a part of the process. We want to win a national championship. And this year, I mean, you guys are obviously pretty happy with winning a state championship. Would you say that now, next year and the other years, is winning a national championship, getting invited to those events? Is that more now the goal for the team, or is it still, we just want to try to win as many state championships as possible?
I mean, obviously, you want to win as many state championships as possible, but looking forward, we want to also compete on national level and be able to compete for national championships. So that's also been a big thing that we've been talking about, and that we've been talking about with our coach about playing in the national championship one day.
Yeah, and something that Calvary Christian did really well, I guess, starting in like 2020 was they brought in a bunch of new players. They brought in Margo Allen. They brought in Taylor and Tyler Hendricks. Then this year, they bring in Brennan Lorient. They're good at, I guess, bringing in a lot of guys. And I guess the thing with entering that national scene is, having to, recruit some players or bring some transfers. So is that something that you think you would be open to trying to do, is trying to get guys to want to travel to play at Columbus, kind of like how players will travel and leave wherever they go to play at Montverde?
I mean, I feel like we can compete with the team that we already have right now. I don't think that we really need to expand our team that much. We have a young core. We're only losing 2 players this year, so I feel like we can most definitely compete on a national level with the team we already have.
Yeah, but I guess like there's nothing wrong with making new friends, especially if that friend's like an elite basketball player. Like, would you be open to, let's say, like let's say somehow someone just said like, all right, Cameron, you're allowed to pick one player in the whole entire country that's 2025 that you want to bring to play with you guys. Like, would you be like, no, I just want to keep the same team, or would you be open to just adding someone else who's also good on the team?
I mean, that's just not something I'm thinking about at the moment. I'm really just thinking about trying to play with the team I already got and focusing on winning with who I have.
Yeah. And now, I guess going back, hopping into the season, I guess honestly, like the one really setback that you guys faced where people were starting to say, I guess Columbus actually can be beat, all that stuff, was when you guys traveled to Pines Charter, and I mean, they absolutely destroyed you guys. That was probably, their best win in the season. They beat you guys 83-57. I see you got a little bit of a smirk, I guess, talking about that. I mean, that game. Well, I guess what are you thinking right now? Because obviously, you're thinking something about this game.
Most definitely, they're a great team. They're probably the best teams in South Florida. Definitely one of the best teams in South Florida. And props to them. They had a great game. That game, coming to that game, we had a bad mindset. Personally, I know how I had a bad mindset coming to that game. I thought that it wasn't going to be like that. I thought it was going to be, a different outcome. But that's just like something that mindset you can't have into that game. You have to be prepared for every game. And so that's just something I had to take in from that game and move forward with and learn from.
Yeah, I was honestly kind of surprised because I did think you guys would be able to handle Pines Charter, at least not like they did like literally smoke you guys. I mean, do you think that if you played them now, you think the result would be different?
I mean, I think it would. I think it would still be a close game. They're because they're a great team. They're well coached. They're well put together. So it must definitely be a close game. I don't feel like it'll be a blowout like the way it was last time, but I think that it'll most definitely be a fun game to watch.
Yeah. And do you think like that was kind of what went wrong for you guys? Was it because you weren't, I guess, as focused, or the game was harder than you expected, or were there other things that just kind of went wrong for the team as well?
It was a mental thing. I started the game. They were hot. They were hitting shots. When people start hitting shots, sometimes it gets into people's head. They get frustrated. They start playing different. It was just a combination of a lot of things put together that really like let them like take it out of control.
Yeah. And I feel like, I mean, I don't know if this might be offensive to Pines Charter, but I feel like, when they played you guys, I mean, that was like a huge game for them. They were definitely, more amped up than ever to play in that game. And, like Calvary Christian, experiences this. Like, every team that plays Calvary Christian, they're going to get their best. I mean, you guys were, you're just a young team of freshmen, sophomores. You said you're only losing like two guys. So what was like, coming into that game, hostile environment where, like they were giving you, that was probably the best game they ever played all season. I mean, being freshmen, how did you like, just what was that experience for you? Just, getting literally a team's best game. Cause usually, when you're playing, like Don the Academy or, Vertical Academy, like that stuff, you're trying to give them your best game. And now it was almost like the opposite side where they wanted to beat you guys like really bad. How'd you really, I guess, handle that and like experience that?
I mean, that's something we talk about in the locker room. Every team's gonna give you your best shot. We're supposed to be the team to beat. Down here supposed to be the team to beat. So every team's gonna give you your best shot. And while you're giving your best shot, you gotta shut it down, and you gotta put it in their mind that they can't beat you even with their best shot. So that was just something we talked about.
Yeah. And looking back on it now, I mean, obviously the season kind of went perfect for you guys in the end. You win the state championship. Would you say that loss, I guess, almost helped you guys to get to where you are today, or would it have been kind of nice if, you went undefeated, at least in South Florida?
I mean, that loss was really like a reality check. Like we were really like riding on a high ride. Thought we were super good. We are like, oh, we haven't lost to Miami yet. We're this and that. And that was really like a reality check that anyone can beat you. Like you gotta like stay even kill. Not get too high, not get too low, and just like make sure that before every game you're prepared. Make sure that you're not taking a day off, not taking a game off, not taking a play off. Like every game, every possession's got to be your full effort, and you have to be fully focused.
Yeah. So then after that game, it's all pretty much smooth sailing. And then you get, I guess a really, really big game, regional championship. You're playing Cypress Bay. I guess before that game started, what were you guys thinking? Because obviously, the Miami game, I think that would be a run. No, it's not. That would not be a running clock because you guys won by 32. But still, I'm assuming that Miami game probably ended before the Cypress Bay Palmetto game ended. What were you thinking about? Were you thinking about like, I guess, which opponent you're gonna play? Were you like, man, like if we play Palmetto, it's gonna be like a big revenge game. Like for them, they're gonna go out really hard on us. Or you're like, man, I want to play Cypress Bay or something like that. I feel like you probably beat them more. Were you thinking about like both opponents, I guess, after you won that regional semifinal game, or were we kind of thinking, I guess, heading into the regional final before you knew who you were playing?
I mean, before I knew who I was playing, I was really just like focusing on the semifinal game. Taking it one game at a time. I wasn't really worried about who I was gonna play. I was just like, whoever we play, we play. We play Palmetto, we play Cypress Bay, whoever it is. We just got to be prepared. We got to get a game plan. We got to watch a film. We just got to be ready for the game.
Yeah, and then you guys win the regional semifinal game, which I guess allowed you guys to play in the FIU, the Ocean Bank Arena, which was definitely a really sick experience. I'm sure States was probably like the coolest thing you guys did, I'm assuming, but I mean, second place, would you say, playing in that FIU, that Division I arena, that facility, was that maybe, I guess, the second coolest experience, at least in the regular season behind States, because that arena was pretty sick.
I mean, yeah, most definitely playing in a big college arena like that. It was a great experience to have. I feel like we had a lot of fans out there that game. It was a good atmosphere. It was a bigger court. It was, being able to see what it's like playing on a D1 court. That was definitely great. One day I envisioned myself playing on that level. So being able to be there and like in that atmosphere and just like knowing what it's like, it was definitely great.
Yeah, and I guess a big thing too, like you guys have had experience playing with shot clocks. Actually, well, I take that back. What am I saying? There was no shot clock in that game, but my bad. But anyways, you have experience playing in the arenas, playing stuff like that. Like you played at FMU multiple times. You played at at City of Palms in that arena over there. do you think that like that arena experience like really helped you guys for playing at FIU? Because playing in an arena, like I feel like I could at least make like a few shots when I'm shooting in like a normal high school gym. But it's like when you go in an arena, just some reason like the hoop looks bigger, like everything just looks more bigger and intimidating, even if you're by yourself. So do you think that arena experience kind of helped you guys as well in terms of playing at Ocean Bank Arena?
I mean, playing in arena is definitely different. Like the point of view is definitely everything feels like it's further. Everything feels like you're shooting further away. But after you shoot a couple shots, after about like 20 minutes, you kind of get used to it, and it's just like back to like shooting regularly. But definitely playing in arenas before that definitely helped us out a little bit.
Yeah. But then, anyways, preparing for that game because even though well, I guess you do get a regional championship trophy, but of course, you're not trying to win regional champions. You're trying to be a state champ. But still, I know you guys were Columbus's first state championship team, and to get there, you got to at least get to Lakeland first. And this was the game that decided that. So, how were you guys preparing for this game in particular? Because you really faced a lot of Miami teams. You never really played a Broward team. I'm assuming you guys didn't know too much about Cypress Bay. So when you kind of saw them on your schedule, I mean, were you guys kind of watching a lot of film on them, or what were you really thinking about that? Because that's a team from Broward County that you guys, I guess, weren't really used to seeing.
Um, you know, Cypress Bay, they're definitely like not like a team that we've like a similar team that we played before. They're definitely like play a different style. We already knew that we were well coached. They shot a lot of threes, and that they played hard. They packed the paint. Even though they weren't big, they had a great game plan, and they did a good job of executing these running their offense. And coming to that game, like we knew like what kind of team they were, like that they were gonna play hard. They're gonna like try and hold the ball, try to isolate a little bit. But we just knew that we got in there, we have to be who we are and not let the way that they play like change the way that we play.
Yeah, and honestly, that's kind of how it all went down. I'm sure like I'm with the team and everything, so I kind of knew like what we were attempting to do versus you guys. And I mean, our coach, like they're not gonna. I mean, I guess you don't know how it feels to like lose a game as your final game of the regular season. I know how that feels, unfortunately. I know how it feels like for four times. But anyways, like you're not gonna say in your final like time talking to the team like, man, you guys messed this up, you messed that up. You're just gonna be like, hey, whatever, good job, guys, or we got next year. All the more inspirational stuff. But there were definitely things that we had schemed to kind of combat some of your plays and not allow you to dominate. But even though that happened, I mean, you still you're getting your backdoor cuts, you're still dunking the ball multiple times. So how did you adjust to their game plan? Because I know through some insight, I guess you could say that they were trying to avoid a lot of the things that you still ended up doing.
Can you repeat the question? It was a little lagging a little bit.
How'd you like, I guess, how were you still able to succeed? Because their game plan, like literally, like a lot of the times you would kind of just cut back door, just cut to the basket and just dunk it kind of on the baseline. Like that was something that, I think they wanted to kind of scheme against. And somehow, you're still able to do what they literally didn't want you to do. So how were you able to handle their game plan against you?
I mean, I feel like against every team we play, there's always gonna be a game plan. Like the other teams have a game plan, most likely focusing on me and my brother. Even though it might not be every team's game plan, that's probably what's most likely gonna be. So going into a game, you have to, just be able to do everything that you can to help your team. Even if you're having a bad night, you're not, having the best offensive night. You're missing the little touches. You're missing, easy shots you would normally make. You just gotta do everything you can do in order to help your team win. Whether that's diving on the floor, getting a rebound, or even if that's just, like clapping your team after he hits a shot, boosting up their confidence. You got to do every little thing that you can in order to help your team.
Yeah, for sure. So then again, you win that game. Had a feeling I was going to beat Lake Worth. But Dr. Phillips, I'm going to tell you right now, I mean, Dr. Phillips was probably one of the favorite teams that I saw this year. I mean, I loved their big three of, Riley Kugel and, Ernest Duday Jr. and Denzel Aberdeen. I mean, I thought those guys were just like complete beasts, honestly. And, you guys, I mean, you ended up winning by one, so it was obviously a close game. but still for both teams, you guys scored 45 points. They only scored 44. Usually it's like a team goal. I feel like to hold a team. If you hold a team under 40, you're probably gonna win, and you definitely kept them in that margin. I mean, I'm just gonna assume there was a lot of prep for that game because those three players are extremely talented. I mean, just how much preparation was there, and especially in that short time span of literally one day. I think you won the semifinal the fourth, then you have the championship on the fifth. So I guess through that one day ish span, how much preparation was there, and what were you guys doing? Because that is a three-headed monster. I feel like that you guys beat.
I mean, even though like it was only one day, Dark Field's a great team. So I was obviously, I was on YouTube. I was watching them play like way before like even this season. Like last year, I was watching them play too. They're just a fun team to watch. So even coming to this game, like even though it was one day preparation, I already had like in my mind a little bit of like what they do and what they like can do. But the biggest thing in that game was just being physical and not letting like them get out in transition and get easy buckets. Make everything hard, make every basket, make them have to work for it. That was just the biggest thing going to that game.
And I mean the one thing is like, so I understand, obviously you could outwork a team, but in my opinion, like watching them, like they seem like a team where they're gonna outwork every team they play. I mean, like they're literally, that's the way I describe it. I feel like they're all just beasts out there. So like, how do you think you outworked a team that I feel like is pretty good at outworking teams?
I mean, probably our biggest thing that game was, not our biggest thing, but one of our main focuses that game was rebounding. They get a lot of their points on offense. Our job going to that game was make sure we had a body on Ernest. 6'10", he's athletic. He just cutting their second chance opportunities. I feel like that really helped us down the stretch.
Yeah, for sure. And then I mean that game, kind of got really tight. I obviously did not tune into the game. I was kind of was able to track the score and everything. Can you maybe kind of provide, I guess, a little game recap and how it all went down? Because it seems like it was a crazy finish.
I mean, with a minute left, we were up 8, and we were up on the ball on the side. A turnover. They got an easy layup in transition. Then after that, down, I'll pick and roll. They hit a 3, and then I believe it was off inbound again. He came in and hit a 3. They tied it up, and then with about 10 seconds left, we were running. He hits a free throw. We missed the second one, and we go down. We had 5 fouls to give at the end. So we fouled with 1.2 seconds left. So they had to inbound it and shoot it. That was honestly like one of the like scariest moments I've ever had during a game. That last second shot. But fortunately for us, it was off, and that was just like probably our best moment all year.
Yeah, and I asked Ryan Davis from Martin County the same question. When that buzzer sounded, what was like the first thing you thought of? Like literally, like as soon as 0.0, like what was the first thing that was in your brain?
I mean, honestly, when the buzzer sounded, I didn't really know what to do. Like, it was just like, it was unreal. I was like, oh, do I celebrate? Do I keep it chill? But I just like ended up jumping and like being in general.
Yeah. I like how you said that because I feel that shows something about this team, which this is why like I would go to a lot of your games. Like I personally think you guys are one of the more classier teams out there. Very respectful players. And for you to think like I want a state championship, should I act like it's nothing or should I celebrate? I mean I know if I won, like I'd be going like absolutely nuts. I mean how are you guys as such just a good group of kids where you have good sportsmanship. You're not really getting into fights with players and all that stuff.
I mean, I feel like that's just kind of what comes with respect, just like respecting another team. I feel like basketball I mean, you can talk trash, but like when it gets out of hand, when people are fighting and stuff, I feel like that's just uncalled for. I feel like that's not what the game's about. So just like playing together, keeping calm, not fighting with teams. I feel like that's something that should be a standard. It's not something that should be like praised.
Yeah, and I think I mean I didn't. This obviously didn't happen with you, but I told your mom about this, and this is something like if some college coach or any NBA team or anybody asked me about your brother Caden, and they're like, like how is he? I would tell them this story of when I think I have it on video. Pretty sure what happened was he was going. It was that when you guys played Donda Academy, and he goes for the layup, and I guess Robert Dillingham blocks him, and he's all in his face, talking a lot of trash, and I was like, because I was scared like he was about to just completely just like knock him down. I thought your brother was gonna just punch him in the face, and he just like nothing. I was like, oh man, like he was definitely about to like hit him and didn't do anything. He's acting like he didn't even hear him. I mean, I think personally that was so impressive. I mean, to literally be a freshman and have a guy, kind of be all annoying like that. Like he was making me mad, and I was just like sitting in the stands. Like that was really just super impressive. In my opinion, I'll probably never get over that.
What was the question about it being
No,
impressive?
no, no. There's no question. I was just saying that it was like just super impressive.
Oh yeah, I feel like it was definitely he. It's just like the way we've been raised. Our mom's done a great job. Raising us, putting us in private school in situations where, you're reprimanded for, acting out or being disrespectful. So I feel like just overall, like the way we've been raised, people that we've been surrounded by, like that's really influenced our character and our behavior a lot.
Yeah. What about I mean, I heard that Coach Moran is quite the strict guy. Obviously, you've had he's been your coach for a while. He's done AAU with you as well. He's also your high school coach. But I heard like he's literally like a very 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 strict coach. I guess a really big factor of why you guys act that way as well. Because I knew for a while like I was completely afraid of him just because of the things I heard about who he is.
I mean, I feel like every coach is strict. I feel like Moran, he's definitely like one of the most chill coaches I've had. He's fun to. He's a jokester. He'll make you laugh like nonstop. But at the end of the day, like when it's locked in, he locks in. But him being strict, I feel like that's just the way that's just him coaching. Like if someone does something, he's gonna like tell him how to fix it. He's gonna get on you for it. But I don't think that's him being strict. I think that's just him coaching and trying to make us the best players we can be.
Yeah, for sure. Anyways, again, back to the state championship thing. Still got to keep talking about that a little more. Just being such a young team, I feel like state championship means a lot to a bunch of different teams. In a bunch of different ways. Like I feel like if you're a team of all seniors, everyone's all happy because that's like their last impression of high school basketball is winning a state championship, or if it's their first one and they're a senior, it's like they've been working for it, their whole career, and they finally get it. That's a big deal. I mean, you guys get it in your freshman year. You still got 3 years left of high school basketball. So, what does the state championship really mean to this team? Because this team is just super young.
I mean, we're a young core. We know that. I feel like that builds to our advantage. A lot of people say that, that's a knock on us. Like at the beginning of the year, they're like, oh, they're young. Give them a year, give them 2 years, they're gonna be good. We've talked about this a lot in interviews. Andrew talked about this a lot. It's like we wanted it this year. This is the year. We're not looking at next year. We're looking at this year, and I feel like we proved a lot of people wrong just by having a great season, win that state championship. I feel like we proved a lot of people wrong. That we're a young core, but we're still like a great team overall. And I feel like in the future, it's definitely gonna be scary. The next 3 years, with us developing, us getting bigger, us getting stronger, us getting faster. I feel like that's gonna be something that's gonna be super great.
And you mentioned the word scary. I swear on my life, I have like a paper of like some old AP government homework that I have that I just kind of write down a few notes during these interviews, things I want to talk about. And right after I asked you the question, I wrote down scary because I wanted to ask, I mean, how scary do you think you're going to be as a player, as we get to next year, your junior year, your senior year? Like I think a couple guys actually, when I was a freshman that I think are pretty scary was, Vernon Carey Jr. I mean, that guy was a monster. Then also there's this player, Dudley Blackwell, where I was personally scared of him both because I knew he was a very, very, energetic, aggressive guy. I was scared of him off the court and on the court. I thought he was just a complete dominant athlete. Do you, I guess, see yourself getting to that level of scariness, I guess? Or, I mean, how scary of a player you think you're going to end up being? Because it's definitely going to be very taunting to play you. You know, when you're a senior, that's gonna be insane.
I mean, I feel like that's definitely something that's great. You know, someone looking at you be like, oh, you know, I want to play him. That's really something that I feel like I want to be known for.
Yeah, but
Like
what I think my opinion, I feel like being scary is like you're that good that you know some teams are like you know I don't want to play him. Like I think you might get to that level where people are like, damn, we're playing Columbus. Like I don't want to play him. Like that's what's scary is like what you're saying is like, oh
yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna be really good. Like scary is like, man, I'm playing Cameron Boozer. Like I don't want to be in that. I don't want to be in that highlight poster.
yeah, I know. That's something that we talked about just as a team in general as well. You know, like when they see a circle on their schedule, and you know we want to leave a bad taste in their mouth. Like, you know, I never want to play them again. I don't want to play them next year when they're calling. I don't want them to schedule us. Like just putting that fear like in them. You know, like being dominant, being dominance. That's something we talked about. Dominance is a big thing. You know, going out there and dominating. You know, putting fear in them and just like absolutely destroying them. That's something that I feel like it's something that you have to do if you want to be great. You have to be able to put fear in people's eyes and be like, I don't want to guard him anymore. And, you know, someone else step up, someone else do it. That's just not something I want to do.
Definitely. And with you personally as a player, I think you have. This is what you know. I guess a lot of scouts have been saying. I mean, your ceiling, as I'm sure you know, is you know it could be as high as you want it to be. You just have you know so much skill, but also again, you know, you're a beast down low. Like you really just develop into you know the complete modern big. I've seen you knock down threes. You know, you could also defend. You know, you could drive. You could dunk. You know, you could really just do it all. I guess where do you? Because I feel like the choice is yours of how you want to be as a player in the future? I mean, do you want to be, you know, someone that's just dominating in the paint, dunking on everybody like Vernon Carey Jr.? Do you want to be more of like a Jokic, you know, kind of modern big? Because the choice is kind of absolutely up to you. What do you really want to be?
I mean, I just want to be, you know, whatever I end up being, whether it's an outside or inside player, a mixture of both. I feel like it's going to be more of a mixture of both. But at the end of the day, I just want to, you know, be the most complete player I can be, whether it's I have to improve my outside shot, I have to improve my ball handling, I have to move more to just being a guard forward. I feel like I just need to improve in every aspect of my game and just, you know, get to fine tuning.
So I guess you just want to have like that overall, just all around game, like you're good at everything.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. Is there like a player from you know down here in South Florida or you know a player in the NBA or college that you guys you model your game after?
Sorry, I was lagging a little bit. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, yeah. Is there a player either down here in South Florida or in college or in the NBA that you model your game after, or somebody that you look up to?
I want to say there's anyone that I model my game after. I want to be like my own player. I want to be Karen Booth. I want to be like I don't want to be like, oh, he's gonna be a future Anthony Davis. He's gonna be a KD or he's gonna be a Joel Embiid. I want to be someone that they say, oh, that's Cameron Boozer, and that's just something that I've been having in my mind, and that's just something that I want to really like make happen.
Yeah, I'm curious. This might be kind of like a weird question, but this is what I was thinking before we did the interview. Do you think like you're gonna go to the NBA? Like respectfully, I think at least at this moment, as long as you keep getting better, I think you're definitely league bound. I mean, do you think in your head like I'm gonna go to the NBA or like what do you think about that? Because of course the league's kind of far away, but like you just seem like you're just so you know, or just so much on the right track right now.
I mean, I don't have to look that far in the future. I really try to focus on more what's going on right now. You know, obviously that's the goal. That's obviously where I want to be, but that's just not something that's in my mind right now. Right now, I'm just working to be the best player I can be and just keep improving each and every day.
Yeah, and something that I guess is going to be coming kind of soon for you. I mean, it already started. I think you have a couple offers from IU and Miami. I mean, the recruitment process. When do you really expect that to just get super crazy for you? And how do you think you're going to handle that? Because of course, like that started, but you're still kind of young, so it's not like you're picking up like 20 offers in a day like some players are. But I guess is that process something you're excited for, and is playing college basketball you're looking forward to?
I mean, that's definitely something I'm looking forward to. Playing at the college level, that's definitely going to be a great experience for me. The fans, people waiting in line to get tickets for days and stuff. That's definitely going to be something that's going to be amazing. That's definitely something I'm excited for. But, if the recruitment picks up or if it just doesn't pick up at all, that's just not something I'm really worried about. I just got to, keep playing my game, keep being who I am, and keep just doing what I can do to help my team right now, and not really look to the future, look to the college level right now. I just got to focus on what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, and again, I mean, you just said you don't want to look too much into the future, and this doesn't have to be like I'm denying one over the other, but would you be open to also potentially playing in the G League or somehow I guess I can't see you do this, but if you like went to Australia and played there, I don't know, you just don't give me that kind of vibe of someone that would go there, but like would you not be opposed to doing something like another route besides college basketball if you had the opportunity as well? Like, would you be open to both?
I mean, I don't really know like right now, but as of right now, I feel like I would definitely go to college first and then proceed in my career after that.
All right. How come? Because I mean, like if you think about it, the G League, I think there's education. I kind of forgot, but I think there is. I guess if you go overseas, I don't think there's going to be school with that. But I mean, how come you think you'd like college basketball?
I mean, my mom and my dad have both talked to me about like just the experience of being in college. That's just like a very fun experience to like, just something to like do in your life. You go to the G League, you're gonna miss out on that college experience. It's something that has really been talked a lot about in my household. So
Yeah. Do you think that going to Columbus, kind of where you said, it's like if you don't go to Columbus, you're not gonna understand, but like the school's like a brotherhood, kind of having like a whole school around you that I feel like you. Oh shoot! It looks like you just glitched out. Um, we'll have to wait for him to get back in here just a second. But hope you guys have been enjoying this interview so far. He's definitely a very very talented prospect. And yeah, we'll just wait for him to get back in here, and we'll continue on with the interview. Let's see. I'm gonna send him a DM right now just in case to make sure everything's all good. But if not, it's definitely been a solid long interview for sure. Definitely enjoyed talking to him. But let's see. I'm gonna text him and we'll see. All right, guys. So got an update from Cameron. Basically, his phone died, and then I guess his mom said that he has to do homework. So that's gonna be the end of the interview. Uh, I guess it's kind of a weird note to end it on. There's definitely more I wanted to talk about. Might have to do a part two, something like that. But we definitely addressed, a lot of the stuff that I wanted to talk about. So, I'm all good with it. I'll plug his Instagram. His Instagram is at Cameron_Boozer_12. And mine's at iHoopsFL. And yeah, again, guys, I'm sorry about the awkward ending, but his phone died. I guess his mom says to do homework. I respect it. I understand where he's coming from. I mean, in my opinion, I think school is very important, and that I'd rather have him say that than like my mom tells me to go to bed. So definitely respect the homework grind. That grind is just as real as a basketball grind. But anyways, I hope you guys follow me on Instagram. Again, mine's iHoopsFL. His is at Cameron_Boozer_12. Anyways, for 2025 6A forward at Columbus High School, and now 7A state champion Cameron Boozer. I'm Isaac Fleischer. This has been another IU Self interview. Peace out, guys.